For instance, I could click on Greater Manchester and I can see it highlighted. Or if I edit the interactions by going to Visual Tools, Format, Edit Interactions, then I can change it from a highlight to a filter. So that when I click on, say, Greater Manchester, all I see are Greater Manchester's results. But what if I wanted to do more than that? What about if when I click on Greater Manchester, I want to have the option of being able to see a very different set of visuals, potentially, based on what I've just clicked on. So Greater Manchester, for instance, I want a page specifically designed for individual regions. And we can do this by something called drillthrough. So what happens is that I can click, or it's actually right and clicking on a particular region, and I can get an option, a drill through option, to say, go to another page which is based on your selection. Now, this second page is probably going to be quite differently redesigned from the first page. So let's see what we can do. The reason for that is we don't need the column of data plus this graph. That's probably getting a bit too far. We probably just need one set of data. So maybe if I have a column, okay, clustered column chart, and I will put in the date, the years going across. So I'll put this into the axis, and I will put the sales volume in the value. So we can have that as one particular visualization. And then maybe I'll copy this and have a second visualization based on the month. So we can see the monthly rate of change. And then maybe another chart which shows the percentage of the change over the 12 months. So that's in the value and the date. So we can see that. And then maybe another chart. Let's have a look. Maybe we'll have a stacked chart. And this stacked chart can have, again, the date. And we're going to have we'll make it a line chart. And we're going to have the flat price. So that's apartment price. And we'll have the detached houses price. And we'll have the semi-detached houses price. And we'll have the terraced price as well. Now, I wouldn't actually design a web page necessarily like this. I would be using other visualizations that we haven't yet got onto, but we'll have a look at those in future levels. So, currently, this is for all regions, and I want to narrow it down. So here is my series of charts. Now, in older versions, I would go to the drill through section in the visualization pane. In more recent versions, I need to not click on any visual, so make sure you haven't got any visual selected. And then I would go to the format pane. Then in page information, I would change the page type from standard to drill through. And this gives me the same information that was previously in the visualizations pane. Now I drag what I want to filter by, in this case, the region name, into there. Now you notice there is one option, keep all filters on or off. I'll just switch that off for now. I'll turn it on later, you can see what the difference is. So region name is all, and allow drill through when they're being used as a category or when they are summarized. Now, I've not actually yet come through any actual use situation when you should use summarized. It seems to be the case you always use it as use as category. And I've done quite a lot of searching to try and find an answer to that question. So always use the drill through as used as category. So all you need to do, therefore, to activate drill through is just drag the field that you are going to be filtering on into the drill through section. Now, if I go to any particular region, nothing seems to have changed. But if I right and click, then I have a new option, drill through, and the name of the page that I can go to. So drill through charts. So now it is solely showing me Greater Manchester, and you can see that down here. Region name is Greater Manchester. Now it would be good to have this as a title. Well, what I'm going to do is just use a visualization we haven't actually covered yet, and that is the card visualization. I'll just insert a card visualization which just carries basically one piece of data, and I'm going to add into there the region name, and there we can see Greater Manchester. But I'll be covering the card in greater detail later, so I'm just going to apply a background to that using the formatting. There we go, and probably just reduce the size of the text as well, and that's in data label. So I can go back and click on a different region, drill through charts, and there we have West Yorkshire. And this needn't just be limited to one particular page. I can go to other pages like the matrix page, and here we have Merseyside, so I will drill through and find the Merseyside data. And if you want to make sure that this is Merseyside, well, you can always get rid of the filter temporarily by just clicking on this eraser, and now it says at the top Greater Manchester. It really is for all the areas. Now I can also drill through analyses as well. I don't just have to click on the region name. So here I'm clicking on a number, and that's getting me to the time and wear chart. Now what is this keep all filters? Well, let's go back to this example, and I'm going to click on 2004, and you can see it's going to highlight all of the 2004s. We had previously set this up in the edit interactions, and you can see that there is a filter going on between these two visualizations. If I now have a look at the drill through for Greater Manchester, you can see that it ignores that 2004 filter that I've got in my page 1 chart, my page 1 page. If, however, I click on Keep All Filters, go back to here, I'll click on 2005, drill through Greater Manchester, and now it's just showing me 2005. So we now have this chart, a monthly chart, being solely based on 2005. So that's the difference between these, the keep all filters or not. It's whether you have any of the other filters on your originating chart coming through, or whether you want to exclude them and just show the entirety of the data except for the region name that you've just clicked on. So here you can see the visualization of all of the other filters. So we've got the slicer filter that's been incorporated. So again, if there were no filters and I was just drilling through, then you would see from 1995 all the way to 2016. If, however, I do keep all of the filters, even if I don't select any particular year, If I drill through there, because of the slicer filter that's on the right hand side, it will apply that and we'll have from 2000 and 2009. So keep all filters, very useful, but use with care, I would suggest. So, if you want to be able to drill into greater detail on a particular topic, in this case, a region name chart, then you can do that by going to the drill through and setting a filter based on that particular column. And then that becomes available to all of the different charts and pages, not just the one that you might initially go, oh, that would be a good idea if that was there, but to all of them. It's a very useful feature. Just one word about terminology. The difference between drill through and drill down. If I click on this particular chart, I can drill down to the next level. So currently it's looking at years. And now if I click on any particular year, it will be showing me 2006 of that particular year. So that is drill down. Drill through goes through to another page and shows information based on what you have drilled. So drill down, you remain on the same page. Drill through, you go elsewhere. Just one final note, you may have seen in more recent versions of Power BI that there is this cross report. So this allows you to drill from one report to another report. So this is used on the Power BI service. So we'll be having a look at this when we look at the Power BI service, because all of these reports need to be uploaded onto the Power BI service for this to actually have any functionality. So cross report, used for when you're going from essentially one file to another file on the Power BI service.